Mark, 2 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues during today's broadcast, please call the Appalachian State Studio Hotline at area code 336-831-0827. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter any issues during the broadcast, please call the App State Studio Hotline at 336-831-0827. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Appalachian Sports Network.
This is Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge and hosted at River Street Ale House on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly inside scoop on App State basketball. Mountaineer Talk is also brought to you by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Now, to get things started, here's your host, Matt Present.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk here at River Street Ale House in Boone and wherever you're listening across the Appalachian Sports Network here tonight. Great to have you with us as we get the show started. Plenty of ways to interact with the show this evening. You can use the hashtag Mountaineer Talk on social media, mountaineertalk@gmail.com. You can also text the show or leave us a voicemail, 828-295-2063. And your questions will get answered on the show. Already have one in the inbox waiting, the two head coaches coming up here in a little bit. Mountaineer Talk is presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. And we kick off the show tonight with Jackson Threadgill. Jackson, how you doing this evening? Good. All right, let's try that again. Now that your mic is up and running. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. 5-game winning streak for you guys. I know it has to be a lot of fun. For a team that takes the kind of pride in its defense the way you guys do, how enjoyable is it to post back-to-back wins, holding an opponent to 50 points or fewer?
I think it's great. Anytime you can get a lot of stops in a game, I think you give yourself a good chance to win games, especially if you don't have things going on the offensive end. And I feel like we've been really connected on that side of the ball, so it's been good for us.
I think really connected on both sides of the ball, and you start off conference play a little bumpy, and then the calendar turns, and all of a sudden you go from trying to get over the hump to really just kicking down the door, and it's off to the races. Just speak to the evolution of this team and how you guys have come together and gone from trying to build that chemistry to really flourishing the way you have.
Yeah, like you said, we faced some adversity late in December, and especially when we got into conference play. But we just kept knocking, and I think this group's been really resilient, and we've stayed united through the tough times, and that's why we're playing good right now.
We talk about the defense, and I think one thing that really stands out about this year's team is the way you guys are so locked in on scouting reports, and it really shows up in games when, I mean, you take JMU and they're two backcourt players are averaging each in double figures, and you shut them down in both games. And whether it be identifying a shooter, trapping a certain player in a situation, just speak to the way that you guys lock in and translate what you see in film to the output on game day.
Yeah, I think we've just been really focused, paying attention to the details, being locked in every day, and I think that's helped us, and it's translated to the games as well.
All right, let's talk about your journey to App State. You start your career at Charlotte, not terribly far from where you grew up, and had one more season of eligibility. Tell me the rest of the story. How did it end up with you and Boone reuniting with some high school teammates?
Yeah, so I entered the transfer portal, wanted to get away from home for my last year, and Coach Kerns had gave me a call, and then I kind of had just talked to CJ after that, seeing what he was doing, because I knew he was testing the waters with the NBA draft. And once I figured out he was staying, I thought it was kind of a no-brainer to be able to come here and play with him here. And then Will Coble decided to come join us as well, so it's been great to be reunited with those guys.
All right, give us the scouting report in terms of the roles and the type of players you guys were in high school. Has that remained the same, or has there been an evolution of each of your games?
I think Will's game is pretty much similar to how he was in high school. He defended well, and he shot the ball really well. CJ plays more inside now than he did then. He's not as skinny now as he was then, so I think it's been easier for him. He's a lot more assertive as well. I think my game has changed too. I was more of a scorer, shot the ball well from the mid-range and the three-point line, and I think I've kind of transitioned into more of like a 3-and-D guy. Really, I feel like I'm a lot better on the defensive side of the ball than I was then too.
What's the process? I think we talk a lot at App State about team defense, but for you individually, what did you have to do across the last 4 or 5 years to improve your individual effort on the defensive end?
I think getting stronger early on was a big thing. Not just getting knocked around on the ball and off the ball. I think studying, understanding systematically what we were trying to do, especially now too. Just knowing where your help always is, who you're guarding, I think is really important. And then also just understanding my size and length, how that can affect who I'm guarding.
Well, you talk about the shooting. I think you're selling yourself short. You've really showcased the mid-range game, the float game, all that sort of thing. What goes into your routine to get ready for whether it's a practice, a game? Because I know it's not just the shots you get during practice. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah. I think Coach Tanner has done a great job working with me when I got here in the summer and continuing to work with me. We just put in a lot of work every day. And then also with me being a fifth year, I think it's really important to make sure I'm taking care of my body, because those minutes add up. And I think more importantly than anything, just making sure that I'm available to play and play at a high level goes into it as well.
What are those rest and recovery things that you're doing now that probably when you entered college at 17, 18 were not necessarily on your radar?
Make sure I'm hydrating really well. The treatment, the ice, the cold tubs. I sleep in recovery tights a lot of stem. There's just so much that goes into it that I used to not have to do.
All right. You were number 12 at Charlotte. Did you have any discussions with Miles Tate about trying to reclaim that number, or how did you end up with number 0 here at App State?
Yeah, I tried to get Miles to drop it, but he said he wasn't going to let it go. And so when I was deciding what number to pick, I kind of just let my friends back home choose a number, because I was like, well, 12's taken. So, and then they decided on 0.
Why is that?
They said they just liked how it looked.
Okay.
They thought it would be a good look for me.
I like it. You've talked before about your interest in coaching basketball when your playing career is done. What is it that you've taken away from Coach Kerns and this staff that you would like to implement one day in your coaching career?
That's a good question. I think Coach is really big on like next play mentality. And I feel like that's like had an impact on me. You can't dwell on previous plays, and I feel like with them doing that, it boosts the confidence of a lot of our players, especially younger players. So I feel like if I can take that with me as a coach, it's all right. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to face adversity, but as long as you can go on to the next play, you'll be fine.
All right, so we'll play off that next game mentality. You guys have won 5 in a row. It's a matchup on Thursday night, national TV at Arkansas State. 2 5-2 teams tied for second in the conference. What are you most looking forward to? What is it that you guys have to do well on Thursday evening?
I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to compete. I think we got to continue to defend well. Obviously, it's going to be a hostile environment. I think we just got to make sure that we keep our composure. We might face adversity at points in the game, but as long as we stay focused and stay together, we'll be all right.
I like it. Can't wait. Jackson, appreciate the time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Jackson Threadgill joining us here this evening on Mountaineer Talk as we kick off the show. Hey, Mountaineers, if you're enrolled in one of App State's 9 partner community colleges, you can seamlessly transition to App State after you complete your associate's degree. This program includes guaranteed admission, as well as dedicated advising and coordinated financial aid programs. Check it out at aspire.appstate.edu. Dustin Kerns joins us right after this timeout. You're listening to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues right after these messages.
Parts, in sports, and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Covering App State University takes the strongest wireless service in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our award-winning high-speed nationwide network. We offer the latest devices and technology at a great value with an exceptional local customer service experience that you deserve. Try us risk-free for 30 days. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers.
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
What does it mean to be first for teaching? First, we listen. First, we engage. First, we recognize potential. You have what it takes: the drive, the smarts, and the heart to be the kind of educator who changes and inspires lives. 2 million kids are waiting for you, but first, your journey starts right here. Be first. Be an App State teacher. Learn more at firstteach.appstate.edu.
Hey Mountaineer fans, did you know UNC Health Caldwell proudly serves the High Country by providing services like women's health, primary and urgent care, cancer care, spine care, urology, and more? When you or a loved one receives care at UNC Health Caldwell, count on compassionate, patient-centered care from a skilled team of healthcare providers. For more information on healthcare services from Blowing Rock to Hickory, visit www.caldwellmemorial.org.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops Talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk here tonight at River Street Ale House in Boone. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside here this evening. His comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. All right, Coach, we were visiting with Jackson Threadgill a moment ago, and certainly he's been a big addition to the team here this season. What is it that I know you had an existing relationship with him, having recruited him previously. He goes into the portal. Take us through the next steps in getting him here to Boone.
First of all, we called him right away. I called him right away. He's a guy we offered out of high school. He's a guy, one of my first few weeks here, they had a 5 a.m. workout. And I'll never forget Coach Young coming to pick me up at like 2:45 as we went down there to be there for their 5 a.m. workout. And we offered him and C.J. Huntley that day, and wow, that was a great day for our program. But he's a guy that we really, really wanted to be part of our program. He's a leader. He's a worker. He's a good player. He impacts the game in a lot of different ways, and he does a lot of things. So you, as a coach, you always want some players that impact the game. This doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. That's Jackson Threadgill. Been a great addition to our program, and it means a lot to him. And he's been a great guy for us on the court. Sam Houston this year, which was a big win for us. We were going to foul up 3, and which sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. That game they had some really good shooters. That game we were going to foul up 3. Jackson Threadgill, they run a play to where it was a catch and shoot. He made the decision right away that, hey, I'm not going to foul, which was the right decision. You can see Sam Houston's player think about it. He thought Jackson was going to foul, missed the shot. We get a big win. But he impacts winning like that. I mean, he made the right play. He's done that over and over. He's had some big moments for us this year, and I think his biggest moments are yet to come.
You talk about that relationship and the fact that you offered him many years ago and you reconnect with him out of the transfer portal. I think a similar story to Miles Tate in that regard. Obviously, there are rules and regulations that govern when you can and cannot reach out to different players, and certainly not when they're on someone else's roster. But how do you build a relationship such that you can come back to it in that way?
Well, when we played him at Charlotte, I'd always say something to him before the game. Hey, listen, man, I offered you, but you don't have to prove nothing to me, all right? Yeah, I offered you. And, certainly he played well in those games too. But, I remember when we were in the film room and the name popped up, I told the staff, I'm going to call him right away. We've got to get Jackson Threadgill, and just a great addition. And he's helping us win games. He's helping us in the locker room. It just means a lot to him, right? Like at the end of the day, as players, you just want players that their care factor is very, very high. And once again, he does a lot of great things on the court. But he's been a great addition. I really think his best moments are to come.
He talked about how he has improved his defense over his years in college. Certainly, this team over the last several weeks has been dialed in on the defensive end. You hold Old Dominion on the road to 43 points, James Madison to only 50 points on Saturday. There's always that cliche that defense has to travel. What is it that allowed you guys to have the kind of success that you did on the road with your D leading the way this past week?
Well, I wasn't a math major, but I can tell you that, 92 points and 2 road wins combined, that's pretty good to me, right? So
93, you're not a math major.
That's pretty good to go on the road and hold 2 teams at the top, in the top half of your league to 93 points. It was a team thing. I think that, in our 6 years here, I don't know if we've had a group rebound at the level that we rebounded like we did this weekend. I think we got some 82% of our opponents' misses, which is an incredible amount. And when you get one-shot stops, when you hold opponents to one-shot stops, because I feel like we're influencing missing, our guys are forcing teams to miss. They're doing a great job of dialing in the scouting report and knowing personnel. But when you're going to get, I don't think we've rebounded in the 80% of since we've been here in a long time, right? But I know James Madison, we got 83% of their misses, and then you're going to put yourself in position to win. It was a physical game. In the first half on Saturday, there were 5 total foul calls, so they were letting us play, and neither one of us could just, get a bucket down, right? It was like two old men fist fighting, right? But it was 20 all at the half, and there we are, and we just kept grinding out and found a way.
No doubt. 5 straight for the Mountaineers, and then back on the road this week. We'll talk about that coming up on the show. Mountaineers enter the Ultimate Mountaineer Hoops giveaway. One lucky winner will receive 2 tickets to the App State against Georgia State doubleheader on Saturday, February 1st, a Coach Kerns and Coach Sharp autographed basketball, and a $100 gift card to Alumni Hall. Go to alumnihall.com and pick App State to enter. Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge continues right after this.
Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
This holiday season, give a gift the entire family can enjoy. A home upgrade with propane from G&B Energy. A roaring fire at the flip of a switch. An endless supply of hot water that ends the shower wars. Made possible with propane and G&B Energy. Even better, rebates worth hundreds are available on many propane installations by G&B Energy. If you receive damage from Hurricane Helene, rebates could be worth double. Visit G&B Energy to save or learn more at gbeenergy.com.
Hey, Mountaineer fans, it's game day, and Harris Teeter knows your party is just as important as the game. With mouth-watering wings, delicious dips, pre-ordered party platters to please any crowd, and not to mention the best pizzas, ribs, and ready-to-grill pub burgers in town. Only Harris Teeter can deliver delicious as you huddle up with family and friends to celebrate. Set a reminder to order ahead if you need party platters, and make Harris Teeter your pre-game stop before the next game. Harris Teeter, where Mountaineer fans shop for their delicious game day.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside his comments presented to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. And we've got a Twitter question out of the gates for you, Coach, and we'll ask Alaura Sharp as well. As the season winds on, you get into conference play and you're playing different days of the week at times. You're trying to manage minutes. How does that impact your practice schedule and the way you go about your practices?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for Mondays, we really try to, recap the weekend. We get a lift in and we just do some offensive shooting, some really light work. And we really get back to really practicing on Tuesday and Wednesday as far as our opponent prep. I think that when you're especially going on the road on a Thursday, you got a quick turnaround on a Saturday, or vice versa when you're at home. It's hard this time of year to practice 3 days a week. And so we did go on the court today, about an hour. Once again, a lot of shooting, a lot of seeing the ball go in the basket. We got a good lift in. We got some free throws in. But as far as really, really practicing and game prep, we will start that tomorrow. Speaking of Coach Sharp, 5-2, they're back at home this weekend. I mean, how about our women's basketball team? And we got to get out and support them this week at the home center with 2 big home games.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Sharp and Sam LaFon coming up on the show at the bottom of the hour. You talk about practicing and scouting for an opponent. We were just talking with Jackson Threadgill about the way this team this year has been so impressive on their scouting report defense. Yeah. How do you go about implementing what you see on film in terms of different tendencies in individual players and then work that into what you're doing in practice?
Yeah, well, we have an assistant coach and our entire staff's involved but in every game, but we have an assistant coach that prepares us for each opponent. And there's only so much you can overload your team, especially with quick turnarounds. So that's probably the biggest thing is coaching is, what to actually present to your team, what you want them to retain. But I really feel like our team is, like, you can become a better defender by just locking into a scouting report. If you're closing out the right way to this guy because he can shoot or he's not as good a shooter, he's a driver, or you're in your position because we've walked through these plays, all of a sudden you become a good defender. And I really feel like that our players have done a really good job of really dialing in. We have gotten some scouting report stops because they've carried over, some of the plays or actions and things that we've walked through and prepared them for, but also personnel-wise. And so that has helped us. Our players have really retained and locked in on things that we have emphasized.
You talked about rebounding as it pertained to the win against JMU, and we've talked recently about Miles Tate just inching closer and closer to that first triple-double in program history. Obviously, he's improved a ton from a year ago. I mean, not that he was a bad player last year, but just the jump that he's taken here in this role that he's leading the team this year in points per game, leading the conference in assists. His rebounding, though, has also taken a huge jump. What goes into for a smaller player, a point guard, to be averaging 5 rebounds a game?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things, right? One, rebounding is one of those things, if you just care about it, right? Like the care factor with rebounding has a lot more to do with that than technique, right? And so if you care about winning, then you're going to care about rebounding. It's just that simple. And so, a lot of times when our bigger players are blocking out their bigger players, it allows our guards to go get the rebound. But at the end of the day, he cares about winning. That's what I tell our guys. Like, first and foremost, you'll become a good rebounder if you care about winning. It's that simple. Go get the ball, right? And let's not overcoach it. Let's not overthink it. And so Miles cares about winning, and, he's playing really, really good basketball. And there's a lot of people on our team playing really good basketball because of him. Like, he's making a lot of people play well, which obviously makes our team well. But not only is he playing well, right, but he helped Dior Connors a lot of shots the other day too, and so did Jackson Threadgill. We had a nice play in the second half. Dior to Jackson. Jackson attacked a really good closeout, right? And then he got Dior a shot at the top of the key, which was a big bucket. But, like, our team is playing team basketball. They are making each other better. There is a true camaraderie there. And, we hope to continue to make those plays. A basketball, I always tell our guys too, all right, a basketball with no agenda is really hard to guard. And that's what our team is playing with right now. There's no agenda. And so the ball's moving, the ball's finding the open guys, and that's a big deal.
No doubt. All right, I'm going to get your national championship pick here in a minute, but first I want to ask you about MLK Day and honoring Dr. Martin Luther King. And I know it's always something that when our team travels down to Atlanta and to play Georgia State, it's always an emphasis to go over to his memorial and just speak to the way in which you speak about him, and more broadly just using basketball as a vehicle to expose your team to him and people who impacted our country the way he has.
Well, once again, every year we play Georgia State, when we go to the memorial there, we go to his birthplace and take our team, and that's always a special day because a lot of our players are going there for the first time. Today being a national holiday and to celebrate him and his legacy and his leadership, we showed our guys a video, and it obviously had a lot of parts of the I Have a Dream speech, but part of the video was about a coach named George Raveling who coached college basketball, who in the basketball world worked for Nike after coaching and helped Michael Jordan sign with Nike and all this Nike and Jordan gear, right? Well, he has the speech. So we watched a segment to help our guys, and I asked them beforehand, do you know who George Raveling is? And so now they get to know who actually has the actual speak. It's in a vault in L.A. Because as a young guy, he was 6'4", he's a college basketball player at Villanova. He went to Washington, D.C., and they asked him, would you be a security guard?
Wow.
And then after, I recommend Googling the story. It's an awesome story. All right, so we were able to tie in MLK Day and with some basketball stuff that they had just give our guys, and they really enjoyed the story and the videos and things like that. And certainly always a day to reflect.
No doubt, and that's awesome. I was not aware of him either, so I'll check that out. All right, we got to run here in a minute, but first, your prediction: Ohio State, Notre Dame national championship this evening.
Yeah, and I don't really have any reason to say that. I think Notre Dame's going to win, right? I just think Notre Dame's going to win. I don't have any reason to back that up. I don't have any stats. I don't have anything other than I think tonight the Irish get it done, and our national champions and Coach Freeman on MLK Day. That'd be a pretty cool story.
Absolutely. Coach, appreciate the time as always.
Thanks. Go Mountaineers, take stairs.
Head Coach Dustin Kerns joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We will shift our attention to the women's side when we come back as Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, rolls along right after this.
More than the sum of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Mountaineer fans love driving Subarus from Modern Subaru of Boone. And when you buy with Go Modern, you can choose your vehicle, value your trade, pick your payments, apply for credit, even complete your entire purchase online. Or just do the parts you want and pick up where you left off at the dealership. Go Modern puts you in control so you can buy where you want, when you want, and how you want. Get started at modernsubaruofboone.com. Proud supporter of App State Athletics.
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
This winter, escape to Boone, North Carolina. Nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Boone offers snow-covered adventure paired with cozy mountain lodging. Shred pristine slopes, enjoy the thrill of snow tubing, or stroll the glowing streets of downtown Boone with local shops, delicious dining, and endless options for creature comfort and wellness. So we ask, can you feel the Blue Ridge Mountains beckoning? If so, come, explore Boone.
App State's top-ranked online MBA is designed for you. It's a flexible, accredited, part-time program that works with your busy schedule and allows you to earn your MBA in 2 years. Learn online from the same faculty who teach on campus with the unmatched personalized interaction and support we're known for at Appalachian. Your App State MBA is within reach, wherever you are in life. Take the next step. Apply today for spring, summer, or fall admission at appstate.edu.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show as we shift our attention to the women's side of things. 5-2 in Sun Belt play, off to a terrific start in conference, and joined today by Samantha LaFon. And Sam, you're one of the returners from last year's team. Yeah, give it up. How much fun has it been to see the way you guys have started off conference play and just exploded out of the gates in the Sun Belt?
It's been so much fun, during the non-conference. I remember there was a point where we had lost a couple games in a row, and Coach Sharp was just like, keep doing what we're telling you to do, and I promise, things are going to change. Stick with the system. And doing that every day has kind of got us to where we're at right now. And so really seeing the fruits of our labor, there's nothing better than that.
What convinced you to have that kind of buy-in when you have a new coach, when things might not be going the way you want in the non-conference part of the schedule? Because clearly that work, to your point, has paid off.
Yeah. Well, number one, it's a top-down thing. So when the coaching staff believes, like, it makes you want to believe too. And I think seeing what works well, like when you sit there and you watch film and you're like, okay, this is what works well. And like Coach Sharp always says, like, go back to what works. And so we go back to what works, and then like we're 5-2 now, and we're doing the things that she's been telling us to do since June, that kind of thing. But like I said, it's a top-down thing. They believe in us, and we believe in them. We trust them, and they're just as fired up as we are every time we win, and that makes it so much easier.
Well, and most recently, you guys got a win at Marshall. That's your former school. Was there any little chip on your shoulder or anything like that? Yeah?
Yes, most definitely. Last year when we played them, I was hurt. And everybody knows the Marshall-App State rivalry. It doesn't matter what it is, chess, football, basketball. And so definitely a chip on my shoulder for sure. I had a lot of people from my hometown there, and Zeta Porter's also from that area, so she had a big crowd, and they all came and had on App State, and it was just such a great day. But like I said, yes, definitely a chip on my shoulder, and watching our team against Marshall was something that was really special too. If you go back and watch the game, we had to fight in a lot of moments and overcome a lot of adversity, whether it was foul trouble or being down or whatever it may be. So what a great day. That's what I keep saying about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You talk about the energy and the fight, and I feel like when I watch you, that's what you bring to this team. You're always into it. You're always loud, up, clapping, engaged, whether you're on the court or waiting for your turn. Has that always been just kind of your DNA, or is that something that you have had to learn that role?
I'll say, like, it's always been my DNA. I was raised around a lot of people like that, thankfully. But I spent a lot of time injured throughout high school and college, and so sometimes when you're injured, you have to kind of take a step back and be like, how can I be the best teammate I can be when I'm not playing? And that's how you do it. I start the defense cheer when I can. When I'm not in, I clap. I try to cheer everyone on because that's a part of our culture, and that's just what we do. But I also just love to do it. I'm a very high-energy person. And like I said, it's a top-down thing. Again, I play for a very high-energy person, so it makes me want to do that too. And so and I think coming off the bench, too, you're supposed to be a spark, and that's what I try to go in and do, and kind of just show the other people that are on the bench, too, like, when we come in, like, we are a fresh set of legs, it's time to get after it.
That's awesome. Not only impactful on the court and as a part of the women's basketball team, but you're also a member and have been very involved in SAC, student-athlete. Finish the acronym for me.
Yeah, I got involved in SAC back when I was a little freshman at Marshall, and then all of a sudden I was somehow president because we didn't have one, and they were like, can you do it? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, well, you're going to conference meetings in like 2 weeks. And then it's just kind of been history from there. I've really enjoyed it. I'm really big on like giving our student athletes resources. So some of those things that you might see Power 5 schools have and get for their student athletes, I want people at mid-major schools and in the Sun Belt Conference to understand that we can have access to that too. So whatever I have to do to get it. So when I sit on the NCAA board and stuff like that, I kind of listen to the things that some of those bigger schools are doing, and I try to get those resources and bring them back to our institutions here in the Sun Belt Conference.
What are some of those things, and what are those experiences like? Having the chance to represent not only App State but the Sun Belt.
It's an amazing opportunity, and I'll just go ahead and say right off, thank you to App State, thank you to Marshall, thank you to the Sun Belt Conference. This is a great conference to be a part of because we are very, very well thought of at the NCAA standpoint. And so those experiences are great for me to grow in leadership because when I come back, I feel like I've been able to learn more about kind of just the ins and outs of everything. And I feel like it's made me a better teammate too. But I'm very big on professional development, NIL, and mental health. And so kind of just getting those resources, like I said, and bringing them back to our institution. I've tried to help implement different mental health resources for us to have at the institutions I've been at. NIL is obviously a very, very big deal now. Everyone's talking about it, and I think there's a misconception that sometimes mid-major schools are overlooked as far as NIL is concerned, and I try to stress to our student athletes is that it's just not true. As much as you brand yourself and that kind of thing, you can have opportunities to make money and get your name out there and that kind of thing, even if you don't play, at a Power 5 school. There's money to be made out there. And then just professional development, one day the ball is going to stop bouncing, you're going to stop throwing a ball or whatever sport you play. And so just being ready to take the next step. There are so many different jobs out there that people are looking for athletes to do. And I try to stress that to them as well, that it's cool to work on yourself outside of your sport. You have an identity. And I think that your purpose is just your passion and just how you serve other people, and you got to find that. And you might do some trial and error too, but I try to bring resources into them to just help them kind of transition to the next step when it's time.
So for you, with that in mind, what are your interests away from basketball? What sort of path do you envision after you're done bouncing the ball?
I'm definitely still going to be around sports for sure, because I feel like that's all I know how to talk about is sports. I make a joke all the time to people that when I was little, I didn't get ready for school and watch cartoons. I watched SportsCenter with my dad. And so, ever since I was little, I've just always enjoyed talking about sports. And then now being a student athlete, I feel like I've gone through so many different experiences. I've been a part of the birth. I've seen NIL from its birth until now in what it is. And I've seen, just some of the struggles that my fellow student athletes have gone through and that kind of thing. And I feel like all those experiences can kind of mold me and make me a mentor for other student athletes moving forward. So I just really want to go back and work in college athletics and enhance those experiences for student athletes, because this isn't a unique experience that we have, and it's different from anything else, like just being a regular college student. And like I said, I just want to enhance those experiences because these are the best years of your life. And so just making them as best as possible, I'm very interested in doing that.
That's awesome. Well said. Yeah. Congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much for having me.
Samantha LaFon with us tonight here on Mountaineer Talk. And we will transition to head coach Alaura Sharp right after this. But the women are at home this week, and one of their games is against Georgia Southern. That's on Saturday, and we've got a special game sponsor for that one. Thank you to Courtyard for your sponsorship of that Saturday game against Georgia Southern and your continued support of App State Athletics. Mountaineer Talk continues right after this.
State University takes the strongest wireless service in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our award-winning high-speed nationwide network. We offer the latest devices and technology at a great value with an exceptional local customer service experience that you deserve. Try us risk-free for 30 days. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
It's never lost on Window World that your home is your largest physical investment. Window World's integrity will be noticed from your very first contact. The clean, professional installation of premium windows, siding, doors, and more are designed to last while leaving your home looking amazing. Window World and their lifetime warranty will always be there when it really matters. They are America's most trusted remodeler and the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics, because the difference is integrity and always in the details.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk Presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt President.
Welcome back to the show. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and we're joined now by head coach Alaura Sharp, coming off a 1-1 week on the road, 5-2 now in Sun Belt play this season. And coach, it was punctuated by a hard-fought road win at Marshall on Saturday. We talked about it with Sam LaFon a few minutes ago. Her return to her previous institution. Did you realize how many Mountaineer fans were in the crowd that day?
I had asked Romeo, our director of basketball operations, before the game. I said, is the pass list full? And he said, oh, yeah, there's a lot of Sam's family and Zeta Porter's family. So it was really cool to walk out and see all the people behind our bench that were supporting us.
No doubt. Busy week on the road. You were just telling me off air the number of hours that went into bus rides and hotels and whatnot this past week. And certainly anytime you can at least get one on the road, it's good. And I think last week we talked about the improvement from Thursday to Saturday, and I think that was probably true a lot this week as well. What were the big things that you did on Saturday that showed you the improvement from Thursday?
Well, they were two totally different teams and two totally different styles of play, but, we didn't really like our fourth quarter at the Old Dominion game. We had a great start to the game and just trying to close out the game better. And Old Dominion was kind of Coastal, we had a close game, but Old Dominion was the first time that we had been behind and had to try to come back and win at the end of the game. And we found ourselves in that same situation at Marshall. It kind of, there was like 10 different lead changes. And so we had spent some time really kind of watching what we call special teams, kind of those different situations that happened throughout the game, and I thought we closed out. We executed really well down the stretch, but over anything, I like the way we defended in the fourth quarter. It's the best we've done defensively to close out a game.
Certainly, I'm sure there's plenty more that you like than just simply force turnovers on the defensive end, but when you're able to force 17 of them and score 19 points at the other end, I've got to think that goes a long way to winning a close game.
Yeah, we really needed those two. Marshall played a zone the entire game, and they have a lot of length on the perimeter and on the interior, and we had a hard time kind of cracking the code of that zone in the first quarter, and then the second quarter, I think we got down 12 points, and so we really leaned on our defense to get us some easy runouts and easy baskets.
You talk about that zone. We've talked about the matchup zone that your team plays. Marshall a little bit different in terms of their zone, but is there an easier transition in terms of teaching how to attack a zone when your girls are going up against it in practice every day, or are there just two totally different approaches with different zones?
Yeah, I think even against Old Dominion zone, we did a great job against it right away. But for whatever reason, Marshall's front line was a lot more aggressive than we see against our own zone and more than you see against a regular zone. And we just had a lot of deflected passes that made us even more back on our heels. So once we kind of found out that we needed to kind of freeze dribble at the defense, make them guard you tight so we could make some interior passes, I thought Marshall did a good job of not allowing us to get it to the short corner in the high post easily, which is where we like to get the ball in zone offense. But I do think it helps you be a better man-to-man and zone team. We run both. We're capable of defending both ways, and we see both where sometimes when teams don't play any zone, they won't even work on their zone offense until really late and close to games or maybe right before you play somebody that zones. And so I do think there are benefits that way.
All right, and you've got a second crack at Old Dominion this week at home. We'll talk about that coming up, but first we'll take a timeout. And App State fans, while we know you're enjoying your time here at River Street Ale House, do make sure to check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for a great dining experience. They're open for lunch, dinner, and later have 19 flat screen TVs for you to catch the game, and also boast the largest outdoor dining experience in the high country. So make sure to stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock on your next trip up the mountain. More with Alaura Sharp coming up right after this.
Adrenaline fuel. Ride, make my move. I rise to the rim, windmill, smash, lights, flash. Then glide back down to a thunderous sound. Slam, dunk.
This performance was brought to you by the legendary Ford Bronco SUV, celebrating the bold and confident spirits that play on the court and off-road. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals to take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
We'll have more Mountaineer talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Triple T Pumping has served the residents and businesses of the High Country with the highest quality septic pumping for more than 20 years. Triple T Pumping services Watauga, Ashe, and Avery County and specializes in both residential and commercial septic and grease pumping and porta-john rentals. Triple T also has restroom trailers to rent out for special events. To learn more about all of Triple T's pumping services and to get on their schedule, make sure to visit TripleTpumping.com or by giving them a call at 828-262-5745. Triple T Pumping's proud partner of App State Athletics.
Tired of sitting on the sidelines because of nagging shoulder, hip, knee, or back pain? Let App Ortho get you back in the game. Offering advanced treatments for shoulder, hip, knee, and back pain, App Ortho offers same-day appointments and telehealth visits. App Ortho is also the official sports medicine and orthopedic provider for App State Athletics. Stop sitting on the sidelines and call App Ortho today. 828-386-2663 or visit apprhs.org.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
All right, continuing our conversation with head coach Alaura Sharp. National championship just kicked off. Dustin Kerns went Fighting Irish. Who are you going with here tonight?
Fighting Irish also.
All right.
Definitely.
2 for 2 on the App State head coaches for Notre Dame here tonight. We met with Samantha LaFon to begin our talking points on the women's side, and we've talked to Emily Carver, a returner on this team, and there are a few returners. We've talked about your building a new core around this group, but I would think that no matter if she's a newcomer or a returner, having someone with Sam's energy is something that you have to be excited about as a coach.
Sam LaFon is a winner in all parts of life. She's a winner in the classroom. She's a winner in the community leadership. She's a glue player. She works hard. She takes no reps off. I mean, if you come and watch our practices, you will see she's going to win the effort, the communication, the energy. Every day she takes no plays off, and that's what makes her so important to our team. She will never get the credit that she deserves. Things that she does for our team and our program never show up on a stat line. I mean, we lose at Old Dominion. She's in my office 2 days later telling me that she was frustrated and she didn't even play that many minutes, but felt like she had some missed coverages defensively and wanted to make sure she got that corrected. And she played one of the best games I've seen her play at Marshall, and just somebody that this program will be forever indebted to because how she has just led and you know, she is everything that we want our program to be as far as how she lives and how she walks as an App State women's basketball player.
That's fantastic. One other returner on this team that I want to touch on is Zeta Porter, and she's playing so well. Nearly had a triple-double against Old Dominion, finished with a double-double, 23 points, 10 rebounds. She's right now the 6th leading scorer in the Sun Belt. How would you assess the way she has grown so far this season and really taken on a larger role on this team than she had previous years?
I think the number one thing that has been the biggest change and growth point for Zeta Porter is just her maturity level. You know, I think that we really saw something special in her talent early on, and so her and I spent a lot of time talking about how talented she was as a player, and I kind of just challenged her on her maturity and her approach to things. And I go back to our Wofford game. We brought her off the bench. It's the only game we've brought her off the bench, and ever since then, she's totally responded in the right way, and she's been aggressive. She's been mature. She's evolving into a leader. I go to timeouts. She's leading. She's talking. She's encouraging. She's leading in huddles on court, and she's playing at a really, really high level. I mean, she has never been known as a three-point shooter, and she's really expanded that part of her game. And when she lets the ball go, I sure feel like it's going in.
She's certainly someone who passes the ball and gets others involved as well. And right now, you guys are leading the Sun Belt at 16.6 assists per game. When you kind of look at that number, where does it show up for you as a coach? How is that ball movement paying off where you guys are racking up that total of assists each time out?
Well, when I was breaking down our Marshall game on the way home, I thought the most beautiful possession offensively. We made 7 passes. We took 0 dribbles and hit a 3 in the corner. Wow. And that's just good basketball. I said it in my press conference. We're going to lead the league in assists per game, and that's exactly what we're doing. We talk about it every day. We break our huddles with team them. We just want to team people to death on every single possession by moving the ball, moving our bodies, and having, we're not a beat you off the dribble kind of team. We're going to outsmart you. We're going to play behind your defense and find a way to get really easy shots. We're top of the league in field goal percentage. All of that is because the type of shots, and we don't have egos on our team. They want it for each other. We're playing for each other, and we have a resilient spirit about us.
All right, so as we wrap things up here tonight, you guys are at home this week, Thursday night, 6:30 against Old Dominion. You get a rematch with ODU after a tough finish on the road last week. I'm sure that rebounding is a big area that you're looking to in that game, but kind of speak to not only where you want to see improvement, but also what it's like to play a team 1 week later after facing them the first time.
Well, we're really motivated. I think it took myself and the team a little bit to get over that game. We started so well. We got up double digits. We gave up 14 offensive rebounds, and they shot 23 free throws in the fourth quarter just by us being not very disciplined, and that's just not who we are. And we've got to get back to being us and closing out that game. That's why I feel like the Marshall game has given us good experience of how to do that. Now we've been in that position and been successful doing that. But we've got to play with a chip on our shoulder defensively. We need to win our matchup and take a lot of pride in keeping them off the defensive glass. I'd love to sit up here next week like Dustin Kerns did and talk about getting 82% of our rebounds. What a way they defend, and I watched their team play on the bus ride home, and I just think that's goals for us of how everywhere someone dribbles or the pass goes, they've got help. They're playing physical. That's the next step for us, and I want to challenge the community to come out. I mean, it's a huge game for us because just getting Old Dominion at home after that little chip on our shoulder. It's luau night, so put on your floral. If you wear a swimsuit, you might want to wear a coat over it. But we need a great crowd to get out and come get behind our kids.
Absolutely. Coach, best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Alaura Sharp joining us here on Mountaineer Talk tonight. We will come back and wrap up the show right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Stay tuned across the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
More than the sum of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Mountaineer Talk postgame is presented by Town Tavern Blowing Rock and River Street Ale House, your high country football headquarters. Our great food and drink specials are available throughout the week. Visit us every Thursday for our famous wing night, Mondays for taco night, and Tuesdays for half-price pizzas. Then, as always, we will have all the games on our high-def TVs for a weekend full of football. Come see us at Town Tavern Blowing Rock and River Street Ale House, or visit our newest location, Town Tavern of Banner Elk.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is an App State alumni-owned full-service geotechnical engineering, environmental, construction materials testing, and special inspections consulting firm based in Hickory. Maintaining pace with the latest technology and developments allows us to provide cost-effective services. The high number of returning clients reflect their confidence in our staff and our ability to provide quality results. Visit us at cvet.net to learn more. Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
All right, wrapping things up here tonight from River Street Ale House. Again, the women at home this week. A rematch with Old Dominion on Thursday night at 6:30. 5-2 teams at home at the home center, so be sure to come out and support them. And then again on Saturday against a 2-5 Georgia Southern team at 2 o'clock. The men also a matchup with another 5-2 team. That's Arkansas State on the road. 9 o'clock tip-off time, 8:30 our airtime. That's also a nationally televised game on ESPN2 Thursday night. And then on Saturday, 0-7 ULM, the matchup for the Mountaineers. Since 1981, Mountaineer Mania has been Boone's one-stop shop for all of your App State gear. The largest selection of tailgating supplies, hats, and one-of-a-kind apparel. Mountaineer Mania has something for everyone, alumni-owned and operated. Make sure your next trip to Boone includes a visit to Mountaineer Mania. Thanks to Jeff Marson back inside our Learfield studios. Thanks to Matty Yates on hand here at River Street Ale House. I'm Matt Present. We'll talk to you next week back here on Mountaineer Talk.